favorite team in the NFL to talk about, and that's because of how well it's going for them this year. That team is, of course, Paul Guado and Baker Mayfield's Cleveland Browns. You just get a certain special little smile on your face whenever the Cleveland Browns get involved. Like the room is lit up with you right now.
Do you know how many people I told this offseason that the Browns were going to be bad? Do you know how many people told me to my face that I was dumb for thinking that? What can I say?
Okay, wait. Before we get talking about the Browns, there's one takeaway from the Seahawks in this game. Russell Wilson is the MVP through 6 weeks.
Oh, yeah, he's clutch.
Oh, okay. That's all we need to talk about the Seahawks. Okay, Paul, go. Have fun.
I was so happy to see. I mean, Cleveland had a good start to the game. I won't take that from them. I think
that made this game more fun.
That made this game more fun. Yeah, it's like when, for hockey fans, when actually this probably isn't very applicable, but when Edmonton goes up on Calgary early and then Calgary just pumps them, like, there's no better feeling. So when you see Cleveland dominate at the start and then just fall apart, Odell Beckham Jr. getting a little frustrated on the sideline.
I hate to see it.
It was just I not being their fan. It was nice to watch. Cleveland back to being Cleveland is what it felt like. So yeah.
Have you ever seen a worse red zone NFL team before?
No, I haven't, genuinely. And with the talent they have, they should be scoring every single trip to the red zone. When they get into the red zone, their 5-yard slants don't work and their offense doesn't work. Their line's not good enough to block. So Jarvis and Odell, they start running these deep, complex, fancy routes to try to get open. And Baker just doesn't have the time to hold the ball that long. Gets hit pretty quick. A lot of the time gets forced out of the pocket. And he's not as athletic. Or as athletic as most people thought he was going to be. So
that's a great point. I got a point on that.
I thought he looked a little bit chubby coming into the season, bigger than he did last year. But he doesn't look too fast out of the pocket. Of course, he's getting caught in the pocket a lot. They're setting up a bit of a contain, so the two rushers are coming along the outside, sending two guys through the middle, and Baker Mayfield can't do anything about it.
Anything.
What it looks like, and it's hilarious to watch, especially with a guy that acts like he's next up. You got to show it before you talk. So
it's first of all, speaking on your athleticism point, all the people who compared Baker Mayfield to Russell Wilson, please stand up and explain that. Did anyone else watch? Was anyone else watching that game?
Yeah, because I saw a terrible comparison.
I saw one guy walk into the end zone from 16 yards out, and I saw another guy try and take off with almost the same gap and got hit 5 yards away after.
Yep.
Baker, it's funny because he's exactly what Manziel would have been in the NFL if Manziel wasn't a drug addict.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Manziel was everyone hoped he would be, is what Baker is right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's so funny when his fans got so triggered when he got compared to Manziel. It was no, you guys don't remember Manziel in college. This is how he played. You guys are just mad because he had a drug problem, and Baker obviously does, and Baker's obviously a far more stable human being.
Yeah.
So, that's not a fair comparison in terms of them as people, obviously, and that was the wrong comparison when people brought up the running from the cops and then alluded to Johnny Manziel. No, the reason he reminds you of Johnny Manziel is because he played in the same offense Manziel did in college, or a very similar offense.
Mm-hmm.
And the critique was Manziel played with elite talent like Mike Evans and elite offensive linemen and Jake Matthews, the Falcons guy, the Falcons tackle, and that he wouldn't have that same help once he got to the league. Well, Baker Mayfield, his team looks like they're going to put out 3 Heisman winners in a row. So is that offense a fair comparison? I think so. The receiving talent that you have at Oklahoma compared to everybody else you play in the Big 12 is a joke. So there we go. There's another comp. And then their offensive line, every single one of the starters Baker Mayfield played with is currently in the NFL. So that's 3 for 3.
Yeah.
So Baker Mayfield is exactly what Johnny Manziel was supposed to be in the league.
Yep. Like exactly. I think it's hilarious because you look at it and going into the year, Baker was so hyped up. People were just loving him, and it's starting to look like things are turning. I'm excited to see what happens in Cleveland. Odell showed his first bit of frustration, so that's interesting from the media standpoint, of course, and I'm excited to see what unfolds there. So, yeah, kind of a game to focus on the loser on this one, and it's a big L for them, especially with Baltimore winning. I think
So
it's going to come down to Baltimore in that division. So,
by deep.
Yeah.
So the good news for Browns fans, you get the Patriots next week in New England.
That'll be
that's gonna go well.